call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
What's up? The call dropped. Well, I'm ready.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, give me the countdown, and then we're going to jump into it, right?
I already got the video rolling. It got the whole phone call and stuff on the...
Oh, okay. So you ready?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to edit this part out.
All right.
Okay? Yeah.
All right.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Bacon. I'm back again with my nephew, Austin. What's up, Austin?
What's up?
What's going on? How your week been, man?
It's been good. Just finishing the week for going to school tomorrow, Friday.
Oh, okay. Dig that. So what you want to talk about today, man? What's going on out there?
I really don't know. I came in here open-minded today.
Huh?
I said I really don't know. I really came in here open-minded today.
You ain't open-minded to nothing.
Yep.
Let me ask you something that that you might be able to give me and the people that listen to the show some insight on from a teenage perspective, right?
All right.
Now, this week, right, I was watching TV in Nashville. They had 4 teenagers that got caught up in a shootout. Well, not a shootout, but in a high-speed chase with the police, right? And then they were shooting at the helicopter, shooting at the police and all this stuff. Did you see that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
What is your take on it? What do you think about when you see or hear something like that happening? What do you think is going on with it? Why do you think they would do something like that?
Some kids, a lot of them just be going through hard things. Like maybe I know some kids they don't be having nowhere to really stay. Both parents might be dead, stuff like that. So then they just stop really caring about life and they just start crashing out. Like my generation, what you just described, we call that crashing out. Like that's just not caring about your life no more. Just doing stuff like that like you really gonna get in trouble for.
So they don't. You saying they don't even care about life
anymore. Yeah.
What pushes them to that point, though?
I really don't know because I really ain't never been in I never been in a position for real. So I don't know what can push them to that.
Do you know anybody that's like that though? That maybe not have done what they did, but
I
have a similar mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, tell me about if you feel comfortable. Tell me about when you have a conversation with them. What are they telling you? What are they talking about? Why would they? You know what I'm saying? Just give up on life so young.
One of my friends, I'm gonna give him a nickname. His name, I'm gonna call him LJ.
Okay, LJ.
When I met LJ at the Boys and Girls Club, we've been cool ever since. That was like 2019. LJ, he older than me, so he like 19 now.
Right.
When we have conversations, LJ, his dad dead. So like, his dad was killed, and he know the person that killed his dad. So LJ went back for retaliation and killed the dude that killed his dad as a juvenile. He did this when he was 16. So, I mean, having a conversation with him, I mean, I'm not glorifying what he did is right. I get where he's coming from the revenge part. I mean, knowing the person who did it, you gonna feel some type of way. Definitely, they're not even getting locked up. It's like they can do it and they can still walk free, So
this guy was walking free?
Yeah, this dude didn't even get caught. I mean, this dude was just, I don't know. He got away with murder. Definitely got away with it. Like.
Well, let's talk about that. You said he got away with murder. So the police didn't know, right?
Yeah, the police didn't know. They had no leads. It was cold. They closed the case actually. So the case went cold. They closed it.
Right. So what do you think about if the streets knew that he did it, right?
Yeah.
So this was a street dude?
Yeah.
His dad was a street dude as well?
His dad was a street dude in his old days. He was kind of going legit though, He was changing his ways. Legit. Yeah.
So it was something like a robbery or something, or just beef?
It was a robbery.
Okay. And the streets knew that this guy had done it, but the police didn't know that the guy had done it, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, now look, you say that he had gotten away with murder. So do you think that um, if the police would have known about it, do you think that would have satisfied LJ?
No, I know LJ. That wouldn't have. That LJ whole point was he wanted his family, the dude's family, to feel what his family felt after he took his dad from him.
Right.
That was LJ's.
Okay.
That was LJ's whole point.
That was his whole point.
Yeah, because
And
LJ, his whole he wasn't even he was just talking about how he had baby sisters and baby brothers that they dad can't come home no more. Their dad can't come get them. And as LJ being 16 years old, I mean, he had to grow up quicker than what he should have at that point.
right. So what if LJ would have done that, and LJ would have been the one that got killed? How would that would have affected LJ's sisters and brothers? Do you know? Do you think about that? Do you know
Yeah.
if he thought about that?
I don't think we really never had a conversation going into depth like that about
Right.
how his family would feel if he got killed doing what he was doing.
Right. So do you think it would have been right or wrong for LJ to have told the police about it? I'm asking you, do you think it would have been right or wrong for LJ? Do you think LJ should have told the police, or do you think that LJ should have handled it the way that he handled it?
I don't know, cause I would know what I would do in that situation.
So you don't know what you would do in that situation.
I don't, cause like
So
I don't get the point of like I get the point of telling the police, but what they gonna do at the end of the day?
he would go to prison. That's what would happen at the end of the day. See, here's the thing that I think that a lot of people your age, and me too when I was back in that age, missing the point that we're missing. We cannot continue to think that we live in the wild, wild west, right? Stuff happens in the streets. If you live that life in the street, stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it is no right way to do wrong. If you do something to somebody in the streets and then they come back and do something to you in the streets, then they come back and do something to you, and it keeps going back and forth. And people that have nothing to do with it, sometimes, a lot of times, end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand is that in this country, we have an obligation, right? And I know a lot of people may disagree with me. And if y'all do, hit me up in the comment section and let me and also know what you think about this conversation, right? But what I'm trying to understand is that the social contract that we have, a lot of people don't understand what I mean when I say this. So I'm going to explain to you what I mean by a social contract. As a citizen of this country, right?
Yeah.
You have an obligation to be somebody that's an asset to your community rather than a problem to the community. You have an obligation to be somebody that's going to do things to make your family better and their position better, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people try to say that they're surviving, they're going through this, and they're going through that. And I think it's unfair for kids, your age or younger, to have to carry a burden like that, right? But see, things happen in the streets that you can't predict because just because LJ felt the way he did, right? And I understand his hurt and his pain. I really, really do, right? I really understand that, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom was taken away from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I understand that. But at the same time, it's still not right for me to, at that time, if I wanted to go out and get the dude that did that to my mom. You feel me? We
Yeah.
live in a country where you have to let the law handle that. Because if you don't, even though sometimes it don't end up the way you might want it. Because if you don't, then who's to say that LJ wouldn't have been the one that got hurt? What if that dude would have been looking for LJ to come get him and he saw LJ coming and popped him?
Yeah.
And then what would have happened to his brother and sister? You know what I mean? What would have happened? But I'm trying to get to that point to where, how that pain, when you talk to him, what did you say to him as a friend? What did you say to him, or did you just listen?
I listened, but I knew that I couldn't change his mind.
You knew that you couldn't change his mind because
I
he was
knew
hurt
that
so bad.
I knew that his mind was already made up. I mean,
Yeah.
when you grieving that hard, you're not even thinking. You're not gonna be thinking everything through. You're not gonna have a thought process. You're not gonna have a plan. Nothing. So I told him
Right.
I told him I love him. I told him to be safe. He can call me if you need to talk again because I didn't know how to feel because I never had any situation. I mean, I had a close situation like that with my dad, but like I never had a situation where someone was just took from me to gun violence, and I knew who did it.
Right.
So I couldn't really feel for it. I really couldn't feel myself in his shoes to think like him because I mean,
Right.
a lot of people say they get it, but like I don't really think you can say you get it if you ain't really never felt that
Yeah.
specific way.
Yeah. So he ended up going to juvenile for that.
Nah, he out. Well, yeah, he out now though.
So he got locked up, but he
Yeah,
got out.
yeah.
Right. How does he act now?
He is about his money now.
He's
Just
about his money now,
provided
right?
for his people.
So, huh?
Provided for his people.
Yeah, provide for his people. Right, the best way you can. Basically, that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Right, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But see, that now he's living a way that puts him in the same danger that his pops was in. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Does he understand that?
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
And his mindset started to switch like that after his father was taken from him.
Yeah.
At 16.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So it does matter if the father is there, whether they're taken away from you through violence or just not being a part of your life. It affects the child. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hate that for him. That's a sad situation, man. I really do wish that, something like that wouldn't have happened to him. But what do you think? Do you think that by him living the lifestyle that he's living now, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing for his family? Even though he's providing, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing for his family.
He's your friend, so do y'all ever talk about it?
Yeah.
What does he say?
Well, he always says that he wouldn't change nothing he did because that's part of his life. It's his life story. You gotta do things and learn from it. So
Right.
he said if he never did that, he wouldn't be the person he is today. And that's his part of his life. Like it's part of his past and what he did, So he always say that when he do always say that like he wish he ain't had to sit out. He wish he ain't had to do a year for that whole year that he missed out on all his siblings because like he was trying to become that role model, that not the role model. Well, he was being a role model, but not the perfect role model. But he was just always trying to be there for them at the things they do, like sporting events and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Well, my thing is this, right? If he's trying to be a role, what do you think about him? You said a role model, but not a perfect role model. Is that what do you say to him about that? Or you just mostly listen? Because what I'm trying to get to is like, how does a teenager, somebody young like yourself, get engaged in a conversation to where you're just listening, but you're not saying anything, to change that person's mind or not knowing what to say to change that person's mind, right? What do you think you could have said, or what do you think you wish you would have said to him? Whether you know it was going to change his mind or not, what do you wish you could have said to him?
I really don't wish I could have said nothing to him because everything I said, I feel like it was good information. It's like I didn't hold back on nothing I had to say for real. I told him don't do it. I told him be smart. I told him be safe. I told him all that.
Right.
So I don't think there's nothing in the world I could have told him that could have
Different.
stopped
Right.
him. There's nothing in the world I could have said different or worded different that would have stopped him.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how did that affect you, if any? You know what I'm saying? Having a conversation with somebody in that mindset. How did that make you feel?
Blessed because I mean I had a situation like that. My dad was shot 5 times. My dad survived. My dad wasn't taken from me. So the fact that his dad was only shot twice, shot in the stomach, in the upper chest, body or shoulder.
Right.
He was only shot twice, and he passed. My dad was shot 5 times in the stomach, and he's still here. So
Right.
I just felt real blessed at that moment.
Right. Well, yeah, I get you on that. But I'm talking, okay, and that's good. I'm glad that you got something out of that. But what I'm asking you is, having a friend like that, right? That you care about, you talk to, and he went through what he went through, and did what he did. How does that make you feel, or if any, you know what I'm saying, about being a friend to somebody like that?
How does it make me feel?
Yes.
I feel good because I feel like a lot of people when they see a friend like that or someone they knew for a little minute like that, they would leave them. Like my thing.
You're not gonna turn your back on them.
Yeah, because I won't want no one to turn their back on me. Because my thing is that a lot of these kids, they just broken. They just need someone to talk to. They need someone to listen. These kids unheard. They don't got no one to talk to. That's the main thing. So like with all the people I know that go to the Boys and Girls Club that partake in whatever they do, whenever they need to talk, they can talk to I tell them they can talk to me. I mean, I had a homeboy there. I had a homeboy there. He passed now. But like he always supported me, told me stay out the streets, don't do what he do. Always be posting my basketball clips, everything like that. So like my main thing is never turn my back on them. Cause I can be friends. I don't gotta partake in what they do, but I can have conversation with them through this phone and talk to them sometimes.
Got it. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Still be a friend to them, right?
Yeah.
Still be a friend to them. You know what I mean? And I'll say this. Let me say this. Before we wrap this up, right? I really appreciate you opening up and sharing this story with me, and the people that are listening. I hope that they really hit you back and let you know what they think about it and all of these types of things, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we not, as adults, we not misunderstand that teenagers go through a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the things that happen to them, that happen to y'all, that shapes the way you think and the way you see the world, we need to take a step back. I'm not saying what your friend did, I'm going to just be blunt. It was wrong, right? But what happened to his father was equally as wrong. But I have to be fair and say that what happened to the guy that did it, what your friend did, what if that man had kids, right? You feel me?
Yeah.
What if he had a family? They didn't do anything to deserve to be without their father either. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though their father was doing something and LJ's father used to be doing stuff. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We often forget about the people that are going to be affected by the actions that we take to make us feel better, whether it be for revenge or whatever, right?
But do you think the person seeking revenge should care about that when they was in that same predicament that their family didn't do nothing and their family still got to grieve?
I think that the person, I'm going to be blunt here, okay?
Yeah.
The way that I think now, I think that the person that's seeking the revenge should think about the people that are in his similar situation, meaning the kids of that person that he wants to seek revenge against, right? He should think about those kids and not the person he wants to seek revenge against. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is why you let the law handle it. Again, I understand it don't always turn out the way we want it to when we go to these courts and this and that, right? But you have to think about that person that he went to do whatever he did, right?
Yeah.
He had a family too, right? Now you can make the case he didn't care about LJ and his siblings. You can make that case, and that's fair. That's fair, right? But here's the thing. You create a cycle of violence when you do that. Now, what if that guy that killed LJ's daddies, what if he had kids and they say, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get LJ now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. We don't think about that because we think when we do this, it's over. Well, LJ's the one that killed LJ's daddy. He probably thought that.
Yeah.
When I do this, it's over. He probably didn't even think that this child was going to come hunting down. He didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And LJ may not even be thinking, or he may be thinking that family members of the guy that he sought revenge from may be coming after him.
Yeah.
That's why it's always best to let the law deal with it. Let the law deal with it. And again, it ain't always the outcome that we want, right? It's not. But we have to get a mindset of if everybody did that, it'd be a whole lot more stuff going on than we could even handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with everything that happens in the system, but that's the system that we live under. You know? And my thing is, the way this conversation started out is about I'm trying to understand a little bit better your mindset and other people like you. And I want the people that are listening to us talk to be able to understand, where you're coming from. And I think you articulated that in a way tonight that will help a lot of people understand, why kids do the things that they do these days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You heard it. Because that's what I heard. Am I wrong?
Nah, you're not wrong.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say to anybody else out there that's listening to us tonight and let them know, you know what I'm saying, what you're thinking and feeling? Anything you want to say to them before we sign off?
Well, if you a kid watching this, or not a kid, a teenager, I just want to say, in some situations, just chill. You don't take it to the max. Cause I know people that took it to the max and they sitting in juvie right now, just waiting until they get out, or waiting until they get to trial. And me as a homeboy, I still send their mama $5 sometimes just to give them a little bit of something, whatever I can get them, and show them my support, show that someone there for them. Because some people don't do that. Some people they just leave them there and just don't care about them.
Yeah, and that's good. That you still best with them, that they're still your friend. But remember what we talked about before we decided to do these shows. You want to be a leader, okay?
Yeah.
And a leader is somebody that influences people,
Yeah.
right? And to be a good leader, a strong leader, sometimes you're going to have to say some things that they may not want to hear, but it's right.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's what's going to separate, the men from the boys. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you want your friend LJ to be around for a long time. Y'all grow old together, kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then sometimes, when you find yourself in a conversation with him and he's asking, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What you need to remember is this, and any other kids that are listening to this. Sometimes when a person is asking you, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? They're asking you advice. What they're asking you to do is tell me that it's okay for me to not do this. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, you want to create that permission structure that makes it okay for them. Don't ostracize them. Don't make them feel bad about not doing it. Don't say that they're weak. Don't call them a punk. Don't do any of those types of things, because that kind of stuff is what pushes people to do stuff that they really don't want to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They worry about how they're going to be seen. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just remember that, okay?
Yeah.
And you got anything else you want to say?
Nah.
Okay, then. We're going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you doing this, man. I love you. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
All right.
There it is.
I'm getting so tired.